All right, last year's number one overall draft pick, Bryce Young, has been benched by the Panthers just 2 games into his second season. Now, in those 2 games, he's completed 55% of his passes for 245 yards, 3 interceptions. Now, Andy Dalton will start for Carolina Sunday against the Raiders. Now, a lot of people have shown support for Bryce on social media, including LeBron James, who tweeted, quote, "Rooting for you and no, this ain't on you. Continue to put in the work and it shall prevail." End quote. Now, Rodney, do you feel like Bryce was dealt a bad hand in Carolina, or was it time for the Panthers to move in a different direction?
Ooh, damn, that's tough. I think that I feel bad for Bryce for a couple of different reasons, right? On the one hand, he got drafted into the absolutely worst possible scenario and situation a quarterback could be brought into. They leveraged the entire franchise to bring him there. They brought him in while the roster was completely barren. The Panthers are not good, and it's really unfortunate. But also, Bryce Young is so small. Like, he is so small. Behind that line, he can barely see. He has to jump to see over his linemen. He's slight of build. He kind of has like a boy body. And he's playing a man's game. And it's just like the cards are kind of stacked up against him. I genuinely feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, I share the same sentiment because, like you just mentioned, he was brought into a bad team. They got the number one pick for a reason. And then they got a brand new coaching staff this offseason. And unfortunately, I don't feel like he had enough preparation for the start of the season. Why are you only playing in one preseason game, one or two drives in one preseason game? He should have played in all 3 of those preseason games because you're clearly not ready. So I do feel like I'm kind of torn on this because I want to see him continue to go out there and try to work through these kinks. But then at the same time, like, at what detriment to his confidence? Because I feel like it's already...
Tom Brady said it best. You know, historically, there was an opportunity for these quarterbacks to be nurtured and developed underneath a quarterback who, you know, had some moderate level of success or professionalism. Bryce Young didn't get that. From day one, he was given the keys to a franchise without ever having to learn what it takes to be a leader of men. And one of the complaints about all the aspects that stands out about all the things people say about Bryce Young is that maybe he's not the best leader. But that's something in an NFL locker room you kind of have to be nurtured or taught to do. And unfortunately, he just wasn't put in a position where he had anybody that he could, like, they should have brought Cam Newton back. And I know it might have been a little controversial or tricky, but that man is a leader of men. And so for him to foster Bryce Young in Carolina of all places and show him the ropes of what it means to be a quarterback in that city, I don't understand why at least that wasn't done. The kid was given a really rough deck of cards, and it's playing out terribly. And to be completely honest, because of the way black quarterbacks are treated in the NFL, I don't know if he'll get another opportunity. I'm not sure.
Right. Now, the Panthers did come out and say that they have no plans of trading Bryce Young, so that'll be interesting. Maybe he can sit behind Andy Dalton for the rest of this season and kind of learn from him. He's a 13-year veteran in this league. So it's going to be interesting, though, for me to watch this game against Las Vegas on Sunday and see how well Andy does in this system.
Yeah.
Because if he looks crazy, then it's really just personnel and coaching at this point.
Listen, man, I feel one of my best friends is the DB coach for the Panthers. You know, when I call him now, all I do is say, "How's your spirit doing, brother?" It's rough over there. It's rough in Carolina right now. You know, Cooley, you my dog. I ain't gonna say nothing crazy about you, but yeah, you know, it's a bad situation. I don't think Dalton will do well behind that line. They don't have any weapons on the outside. It's just the roster is one of the worst rosters in NFL history, and I'm not saying that to, you know, from a hyperbolic standpoint. Like, it's just a bad. It's not hyperbole. It's just a bad roster. Like, it's just bad. So, y'all let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you feel like Bryce Young was dealt a bad hand, or is he just not good enough to be an NFL quality starting quarterback? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.